When my son asked me to teach him to dance before his death, I realized the steps I'd been avoiding all my life were the ones he needed most. The hospice nurse had just left when Jordan asked me. His room was filled with that strange hospital quiet, machines humming, occasional wrecks, the rustle of sheets as he shifted his thinning frame. "Dad, will you teach me how to dance?" The question stunned me. My 15-year-old son, who hadn't stood without assistance in 2 months, wanted dance lessons. The osteosarcoma had colonized his spine, hip, and femur. The pain was manageable now only because of medications that made him drift in and out of lucidity. I repeated stupidly, "Yeah," his eyes still so bright despite everything fixed on mine. I keep thinking about all the things I'll never do: first kiss, gent, college, but mostly I keep thinking about prom. Standing there with a girl not knowing how to move. I swallowed hard. Jordan had been diagnosed 11 months ago. We'd done everything: surgery, chemo, experimental treatments, all while I kept telling him, "You are going to beat this." But 3 weeks ago the doctors had given us the timeline. Weeks, not months. His mother couldn't handle it. She'd visit, dissolve into tears, then disappear for days. I couldn't blame her. Some days I couldn't look at photo albums without breaking down, but someone had to remain steady. "I don't think you should be standing," I started. "I know I can't actually dance," he interrupted. "But maybe you could just show me the steps, so I can imagine it, so I'll know." I hadn't danced since my wedding, and even then I'd been terrible. 2 left feet. No rhythm. My wife used to tease me about it. "I am not exactly Fred Astaire, buddy. That's okay." He smiled. "I am not exactly Ginger Rogers." That smile. Even now, with death hovering in the room like another presence, he could still smile. "Alright," I said, pulling my phone out. "Let me find some music." I chose a slow song, something simple. Standing beside his bed, I demonstrated the basic box step, feeling awkward and self-conscious. "You put your hand on her waist like this. She puts her hand on your shoulder. You hold her other hand out here." Jordan watched intently, committing every movement to memory. I demonstrated turns, explained leading versus following, showed him how to twirl a partner. "What if she wants to get closer?" he asked. I showed him how couples sometimes just sway together, barely moving, arms wrapped around each other. How teenage boys would probably put their hands too low on a girl's back until chaperones intervened. He laughed at that, a real laugh that turned into a cough. When it subsided, he looked tired but satisfied. "Thanks, Dad." The next day he asked again, and the day after. It became a ritual. I'd demonstrate dance steps, and he'd watch from his bed, occasionally lifting his arms to mimic my movements. One afternoon, I brought in pictures of proms from different decades: the 70s with their wide lapels, the 80s with big hair, the 90s with their terrible fashion choices. We laughed at how I'd looked in my own prom photo. "Is it weird," he asked one evening, "that I am sad about missing something I probably would have complained about anyway?" I sat on the edge of his bed. "Number, it's not weird. Pem is a milestone. It's okay to mourn the milestones." 3 days before Jordan died, he had a good morning, one of those brief windows when the pain receded and his energy returned. The hospice nurse helped him into his wheelchair, and I put on his favorite song. "One real dance," he said. "Just so I can say I did it." I pushed his wheelchair around the room.